A house that twists with every drumbeat. Zenitsu trapped inside while panicking out of his mind. A sworn man wearing a boar head crashing through the ceiling. And Tanjiro facing a demon who once stood among the 12 Kizuki. Episode 8 turns the drum house into absolute chaos. Separated from Tanjiro inside the drum house, Zenitsu completely loses it. Full panic mode. The young boy beside him calls out for his sister, Teriko. But Zenitsu immediately tells him not to scream so loudly if they want to survive. Then, Zenitsu insists they should leave the house entirely. But the young boy immediately questions him. Why are we leaving? Are you trying to run away? You keep crying about dying. Don't you feel ashamed? Is the sword on your waist fake? Ouch. Those words hit Zenitsu hard. He quickly tries defending himself, saying the boy misunderstood him. He's not running away. He just thinks they need an adult because this situation is too dangerous for children. Then, Zenitsu opens the door and immediately panics again. That should have been the exit, the outside. But the outside is gone. The house itself keeps changing. Terrified, Zenitsu opens another door and suddenly comes face to face with something horrifying. A muscular human body with the head of a boar. Zenitsu instantly screams, "Monster!" But instead of attacking, the strange figure suddenly runs away. The young boy just silently stares at Zenitsu in disappointment, while Zenitsu nervously begs him not to look at him like that. Honestly, Zenitsu's reactions make it impossible not to judge him. Elsewhere, Tanjiro warns Teriko not to scream and tells her to stay away from the corridors, even if the rooms move again. He tells her to hide behind the shelves. Then the drum demon finally speaks. Annoyed, he complains that people keep entering his home. They are all my prey. Tanjiro introduces himself and immediately declares he'll cut the demon down. Does Tanjiro really announce his battle plans every single time? The moment Tanjiro attacks, the demon strikes one of the drums embedded in his body. The entire room flips sideways. Tatami mat rotates as gravity itself changes direction. This is the demon's blood demon art. The entire house is his territory. But before Tanjiro can recover, crash! The boar-headed figure suddenly bursts into the room screaming, "Pig assault!" And now we realize he is not a monster. He is another demon slayer wearing a boar mask. Dual blades in his hand, the boar-headed swordsman charges straight toward the demon, wanting to defeat it and become stronger. But the drum demon beats the drum again. The room rotates violently. Teriko nearly falls and Tanjiro quickly tells her to hold onto the furniture. Meanwhile, the boar-headed slayer literally uses Tanjiro as a stepping stone to leap toward the demon again. Tanjiro warns him the demon has dangerous abilities and tells him not to attack recklessly. But the boar-headed fighter ignores him completely. Another drum sounds. The room shifts again, and this time the boar-headed slayer steps directly on Teriko. He doesn't even care she's there. Tanjiro instantly grabs him and throws him off her, furious that he would step on a small child just to continue fighting. The boar-headed fighter gets excited by Tanjiro's strength and suddenly decides he wants to fight Tanjiro too. Meanwhile, Tanjiro is basically wondering why this guy is more interested in fighting him than the actual demon. But suddenly, massive claw-like slashes rip through the room itself. The attacks appear at the exact same timing and speed as the drum beat. Eventually, the drum demon manages to separate the boar-headed slayer from Tanjiro. But then, The room changes again. Except this time, the demon never touched a drum. That's strange. Tanjiro realizes something else inside this house is moving too. He smells blood nearby and slides open a door. Human remains. Someone was eaten there. He immediately tells Teruko to go the opposite direction. But then Tanjiro catches another scent. A strange smell of blood, unlike anything he has ever encountered before. He abruptly opens another door and finds a frightened boy holding a drum. The boy nervously raises his hand towards it, ready to strike. Meanwhile, Zenitsu and the young boy continue wandering through the shifting house. Zenitsu is terrified beyond reason. Honestly, the boy doesn't even feel safe around him anymore. Zenitsu keeps insisting they stay quiet so demons won't discover them. Right before a demon immediately appears. A grotesque demon with a chameleon-like appearance lunges toward them. His long tongue lashes through the air like a whip, smashing objects apart while Zenitsu screams in complete terror. The two barely escape in another room. Zenitsu collapses completely. No matter how hard the boy pulls him, he can't stand up. Zenitsu says all his fear gathered into his legs and tells the boy to leave him behind and run away. But the boy refuses. And that genuinely moves Zenitsu. Through the sound of the boy's heartbeat, Zenitsu can hear how terrified he really is, and yet he still stayed behind with him. Then the demon catches up to them. It promises to suck the brains out through their ears. Ew. At that moment, Zenitsu's fear and sense of responsibility completely overwhelm him. Suddenly, he passes out. The boy is horrified. Zenitsu literally fell asleep. The boy tries to wake him up, but nothing. The demon attacks, but before its tongue can hit, its tongue is severed instantly. Zenitsu slowly rises to his feet, completely asleep. Without saying a word, he simply gestures for the boy to step back before taking his stance. Then, thunder breathing bursts form, thunderclap and flash. In an instant, Zenitsu vanishes. The demon's neck is sliced clean through before it even realizes what happened. Then immediately afterward, Zenitsu wakes up confused. The demon's head rolls to his feet and he panics. And now, he thinks the little boy defeated it. Zenitsu Agatsuma becomes terrifyingly powerful when asleep. Elsewhere, the boar-headed swordsman races wildly through the house. Apparently, he's been trapped there for 3 entire days. Suddenly, a gigantic demon arms reaches out from the darkness trying to grab him. But his reflexes are monstrous. He instantly leaps backward. Then using beast breathing, he rushes forward, slices off the demon's arms, decapitates it effortlessly, then immediately keeps running again. As the drum demon wanders through his house, we finally notice something strange. One of the drums on his body is missing. And while searching for humans with rare blood, he reveals his obsession. If he can consume enough special humans, he believes he can become one of the 12 Kizuki again. Eating rare blood humans makes demons far stronger than eating normal people. Then, through the demon's memories, we finally learn his name, Kyogai. He once belonged to the 12 Kizuki, but after losing the ability to eat humans, Muzan stripped away his rank. Now, Kyogai desperately wants to become useful again, hoping Muzan will one day acknowledge him once more. Back with Tanjiro, Teruko suddenly recognizes the frightened boy. It's her older brother, Kiyoshi. The moment he sees her, he forces himself to stop his hand from striking the drum. Teruko immediately runs to him in tears. Tanjiro introduces himself as a demon slayer and begins treating Kiyoshi's wounds while asking what happened. Kiyoshi explains Kyogai kidnapped him to eat him. But then, other demons inside the house started fighting over who would get to devour him first. During the struggle, one of the drums was knocked off Kyogai's body. Kiyoshi grabbed it out of desperation after realizing the drum could move the rooms. Tanjiro asks if the demon mentioned rare blood. Kiyoshi says yes. Kyogai called him that. Then Tanjiro's crow suddenly explains, rare blood humans are extremely valuable to demons, a delicacy. Suddenly, Tanjiro smells Kyogai approaching. He immediately warns the children. The moment he leaves the room, they must beat the drum to move away and hide. If anyone opens the door or makes a sound, beat the drum and run. He promises he'll follow the scent and come back for them. Then Kyogai appears. Tanjiro charges him while screaming, "Beat the drum!" The children strike it and instantly disappear. Kyogai beats one of his drums. Suddenly, Tanjiro is upside down. As the demon attacks relentlessly, Tanjiro begins analyzing the patterns. Left shoulder drums rotates the room right shoulder rotates it left, right leg moves rooms forward, left leg moves them backward. The stomach drum creates the claw attacks. Kyogai drums faster and faster. Tanjiro spins violently throughout the rooms, and the pain from his injuries becomes unbearable. Tamayo treated him earlier, but his ribs and leg are still fractured. Tanjiro begins doubting himself. What if his leg gives out during the opening? He'll be sliced apart instantly. The pain isn't only breaking his body, it's breaking his spirit too. Then suddenly, Zenitsu's voice echoes in his mind. "Okay, I get it. Please just be quiet." Even Tanjiro's internal thoughts are being hunted by Zenitsu now. Then Tanjiro encourages himself. "You can do this, Tanjiro." He charges again, but barely avoids the claw attacks and crashes painfully. He realizes pure determination won't solve this. He needs to think, but he doesn't have any time to think. Then suddenly, Kyogai remembers his human life. People mocked his writing, called it boring, garbage, told him to stop writing entirely and lock himself away with his drums. Enraged by the memory, Kyogai begins drumming even faster. The claw attacks increases from 3 slashes to 5. Then papers begin falling around the room. Tanjiro carefully avoids stepping on them. That single action stops Kyogai. For the first time, someone respected his work. And because Tanjiro avoided the papers, he suddenly realizes how to move without worsening his injuries. Short, rapid breath. By straightening the muscles around the broken bones, he can keep moving. Then Tanjiro notices something else. Before every claw attack, there is a smell of mold. That tiny moment warns him the attack is coming. Finally, Tanjiro moves forward. Full focus. Water breathing. Ninth form. Splashing water flow. Turbulent. At the exact same moment, Kyogai drums wildly. His technique minimizes landing time and allows movement without stable footing. Perfect for a rotating room. Tanjiro dances through every attack. Then he sees it, the opening thread. Before cutting Kyogai's neck, Tanjiro tells him, "Your blood demon art is incredible." Kyogai is decapitated. Tanjiro lands heavily in pain after accidentally breathing too deeply. As Kyogai begins disintegrating, he asks, "Was my blood demon art truly strong?" Tanjiro answers honestly, "Yes, but killing humans is unforgivable." Before Kyogai disappears completely, Tanjiro throws Tamayo's special blade into him to collect his blood. Suddenly, a cat appears with a loud mew. Tamayo's cat. It reveals itself with one mew and disappears with another. Tanjiro places the blood into the cat's bag and the cat vanishes. Meanwhile, Kyogai thinks about his manuscripts. Maybe they weren't worthless after all. At least not to that boy. Tears fall from his eyes as he thanks Tanjiro for recognizing the value of his efforts. Episode 8 turns the drum house arc into something much deeper than just another battle. Zenitsu reveals terrifying power hidden beneath all his fear. The boar-headed swordman crashes onto the story like pure chaos, and Tanjiro once again shows compassion even toward a demon. Kyogai lost everything trying to gain recognition, and in the end, the person who acknowledged him was the very swordman who defeated him. Episode 8 had everything. Zenitsu thunderclap and flash, the insane boar-headed slayer, the rotating drum house, and Tanjiro's emotional battle against a former Kizuki. But which moment was your favorite? And did you expect Kyogai's ending to be that emotional? Don't forget to subscribe for episode 9. Thank you for listening to Manga with me. I'll see you in the next episode.